Hey Joey, as you know, I turned 27 earlier this week, and I decided on making a list of 27 things to pursue. And the reason why I think pursue is a good word to use is because when you think about life, there are things that you are pursuing, there are things that you are going towards, and instead of thinking about what specifically those things are, I wanted to make it a little bit broader and identify the things that I think are worth pursuing. I will say now that I was only able to really think of 17 things, which is why I encourage you that while I'm reading this list, if you can think of some more, anyone, put it in the comments below and I will read them. All right, let's get started. Number 1, friendship. The pursuit of friendship will always be a good thing. You can never have too many good friends. You can have a lot of friends where they're not good, but the pursuit of good friends is always something worthy. Number 2, financial stability. You need to make money in order to live, in order to have housing, in order to eat food. And so making sure that you understand financial stability and pursuing financial stability, not financial greed, is a good pursuit. Number 3, physical health. You are young, and so don't let your health stop you from doing the things that you want to do, which means go to the gym, go take your daily walks, eat healthy. Do all these things because you are the only person who's really stopping you from having the look and the body and the feeling that you want physically. Number 4, mental health. The pursuit of a good mental health is something that is honorable, noble, and worthy of any person. Pursue it wisely. Number 5, unlearning past lessons taught by past trauma, which means that there's a lot of things, a lot of self-discovery that you have to go through in order for you to unlearn a lot of the things that trauma actually did to teach you some of these bad lessons. You know, an example of this would be when you are upset with someone, the best thing to do is to shut them out so that way they can chase you and that they can make you, they can really showcase to you that they care about you because they're going to chase you. That is a lesson taught by trauma, friend. I would know. That's how I used to cope with things. Not anymore because I understood why and where that came from. Unlearn past lessons taught by past trauma. Number 6, general knowledge. General knowledge is a good thing to pursue. What do I mean by that? Geography. Know basically where things are. Know what countries there are, generally. If I ask you, where is Pakistan? What is the neighbors of Pakistan? You should know that. If I say, where is the Dominican Republic of Congo? DRC. Where in the map is that? You should know. That's important. Car stuff. How does a car run? What is a car engine filter? And how is that different from a air conditioner filter? I didn't know that stuff, but I think that's important. Pop culture, to some extent, is also important to know. Number 7, relationships, specifically with old people. That could be grandmas. That could be people that you volunteer with. That could be people that you volunteer for. That could be teachers. That could be bosses. But having a relationship with an old person really gives you perspective on life because they have 40 plus years of living life more than you. And so they look at things through a very broad point of view. Number 8, remembering and writing down facts about important people in your life. I personally am really bad at remembering things that my friends tell me. And so I write things down. In my notes app, a lot of my close friends will have notes on their favorite ice cream, their favorite boba drink, their favorite, just little things. Do they have siblings? It's all written down just because I know that my personal memory cannot sustain all this information. But that is important. That is an important pursuit. It is a worthy pursuit because in order to make people feel good, you need to know them. And to know and to be known is to love, I think is the phrase. Number 9, cooking. Cooking is a worthy pursuit. Imagine being able to pull up to a function and say, hey, I can make that. Hey, I've made this. Hey, what do you want to eat? I can make something from whatever's in the kitchen. Being able to cook is sexy and worthy of pursuit. Number 10, long-term missions. What do I mean by this? Here's an example. Visiting every national park in the United States. Making a video for your brother or sister's 50th birthday and starting when you're 25. Collecting old coins. But something that, like a project that sustains itself from a very young age all the way up to a very old age. Because really, this is how I think. If one of the most valuable resources is time, then now you're basically using time for your project, and that project will be freaking cool. I am already doing this in the small ways. We are doing this together with this video thing, but work on long-term projects because it's cool. Number 11, getting good at a form of recording and documentation. What do I mean by this? Photography, writing, scrapbooking. Anything that documents your life in the long term, I think is a worthy pursuit, because documenting your life is also a worthy pursuit. Being able to express yourself on a physical, thing like a journal, so that way you can look back at it years after, months after, days after, and say like, oh, that's how I was feeling, good, bad, positive, negative, and be able to like just look back, right? Very good pursuit. Let's see. Number 12, being able to articulate your feelings. Everybody, that's always a good pursuit. Being able to connect with other people by saying, this is how I feel, this is how I am, and this is why I feel these things. Being able to do that, so that way you can talk to your friends, your partners, your parents, your children, anyone, and just saying like, hey, this is how I feel. I feel this way. And particularly, I feel neglected. Particularly, I feel delighted. Having like those specific words to describe how you feel is always a good pursuit. And so I challenge you, whoever is watching this video, is that like the next time you describe your feeling, you really go for it. You really try to pinpoint exactly how you're feeling. Oh, I'm feeling really lethargic today, instead of being sad, I feel like it's easy to just say like your feelings are sad, angry, sad, mad, happy, like those really basic ones. But there's resources on the internet with images of like how to specifically define how you're feeling and being clear on those things. Number 13, a career. Guys, gals, you cannot escape capitalism, unfortunately. You will need to have a career that hopefully does something good in the world. It doesn't have to be the craziest thing where it needs to change the whole world, but at least if it's doing something good and it's not harming people, then it's a worthy pursuit. A career is a worthy pursuit, knowing that for most of your life, half of your life, 3/4 of your life, that you're going to be working to make money, right? Like we're not rich, we're not billionaires. And so we have to work. And so you have to find a career. I think that's a worthy pursuit, I think. Number 14, volunteering. Volunteering, I think, is very important because it's your way of showing to the world and yourself, which matters most, is that like you don't need an exchange to do something good. And I think volunteering is something that teaches you that, and it makes you feel super warm inside, where you're able to give your time and energy to a cause that you believe in without anything in return, really. It's just for the cause. And I think that's really good. Number 15, the enjoyment of art for art's sake. Always a good thing to pursue. Go to that concert, go to that museum, go to that exhibit, and just enjoy art. Sometimes art won't hit, and most times it won't. But sometimes you feel a specific type of art form. For me, personally, what I found, the art that I really like is the type of art that you can step into, that you can look up and observe with your eyes and maybe be able to touch and feel it. The ones that are like the paintings typically don't really do it for me. Like I really can't connect with them. But photography connects with me really well, such as, like photos of people or an experience. I remember seeing one last month called Monument, and that really hit hard. the pursuit of art, the enjoyment of art is worthy of a pursuit. Number 16, learning about the different religions of the world. I think this one is pretty important because a lot of people grow up in religion. A lot of people have religious backgrounds. A lot of people are religious. I am not. I am atheist, fun fact. But being able to understand how people view the world, and oftentimes it's through the influence of religion. I have influences of religion, of Christianity myself, is also a worthy pursuit in order for you to understand how people see the world, how people see themes such as love, sacrifice, afterlife. Being able to understand just the basics of those things, of the important holidays as well, is a worthy pursuit. 17, reading books. Doesn't matter if it's fiction, nonfiction, historical, non-historical, a cookbook or whatever. Just being able to read a book, a thing that someone took time to write, knowing that they will have a coherent story, a coherent lesson, is a worthy pursuit. Being able to read books, that's very good. Number 18, traveling. Seeing other countries, seeing other cultures, seeing how other people live is a worthy pursuit because it connects you, not just to other people, but with yourself. It allows you to look at what's in front of you and reflect back on your own values of your own experiences, how they differ. That is a worthy pursuit. And once you go out and travel and you see that the world is so big and so vast, it puts things into perspective. And when things put things into perspective, that is always a good pursuit. Number 19, I'm out. I'm done. I have nothing else. I couldn't think of anything else, and I didn't want to add too much pressure to myself. And so that's all I have. I have 19 out of the 27 things that is worthy of pursuit. Notice how a lot of these things they're not specific goals, right? My goal, even though let's say financial stability was number 2, doesn't mean that I had a specific goal of making X amount of money or saving X amount of things. Or if I had physical health, didn't mean that I'm going to run a marathon. I felt like I didn't want to make a list of that this year because that's not the vibe. The vibe is just pursuit. It's about headspace. It's about putting yourself into positions that allow you to do good to yourself. And when you understand these worthy pursuits and you have that in the front of your mind, I think it really helps put things into perspective. And it also allows you to put things in a clear way. So when I think about my next year, up until my next birthday, I'm going to be thinking about these pursuits and how they are worthy of my time, my energy, my resources, and how focusing on these things can only lead to good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye, Joy. I'll see you Thursday. You're still here?